lasso, snatching a single character and drawing him out to the rest of your team. Only fighting 5-on-4.
10 seconds remaining.
He lanes very well versus both Sand King and Lycan, and some he can
5
be locked down with
seconds
the lasso
remaining.
for Lycan when he eventually picks up that item will be very useful.
It seems like Secret really wants to have strong lanes because Witch Doctor is also one of the strongest lane heroes with his cask and also the sustain he has with his heal.
Team Secrets
We might
turn
see
to
some weird
ban.
heroes in this matchup too. I think Secret, they've been first phasing PL, which only teams have been doing. We could potentially see a Huskar pick coming from either team matchup too.
The best of one.
Yeah.
We have seen some Huskar cheese in the past.
We have.
So I don't know if this is a incorrect assessment, but as
10
I was slowly
seconds
learning
remaining.
more and more Dota and just occasionally watching esports matches where Secret was
5
in attendance,
seconds remaining.
it always seemed like they would be one of the teams most comfortable with picking
Execration's
non-meta heroes.
turn to
correct?
ban.
I mean, I've just seen some drafts that are nuts. I've heard some commentators talk about it in the games.
Goes back to what he said about Puppy being stuck. If he thinks his hero is good, he's going to pick it, whether or not everyone else is not going to pick it or everyone else is terrible.
And that's what Ake was talking about earlier today, is you don't want to chase anybody. You want to
10 seconds
create
remaining.
your own path. You want to win with the heroes that you think are good and then watch everybody
5
else try to figure
seconds
you out.
remaining.
Well, thus far, no team is
Team
really
Secrets
praying
turn to ban.
We've had a lot of heroes
out of
picked.
control, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what do we have, like 107, 108 total heroes
Yeah, we're
picked?
currently 108 of 112. They don't have Bane, who's my favorite hero. I love Bane.
Bane's actually not bad. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him at some point. He's just, there's other heroes that kind of fill the same roles that he does.
Right.
Better.
10 seconds remaining.
So we got some bans, Invoker Sven.
5
Buff, and
seconds remaining.
then wait on this last one here. That's Sven ban against, with Lycan. Again, we saw it from BG in the last series. Queen of Pain banned out. Queen of Pain lanes pretty well against Bat. but I doubt Bat would go
Execration's
mid.
turn to pick.
Usually in the offlane, I guess.
Haven't seen Batman in a long time.
Are they afraid of Huskar that they will pick it since the ban Omni Knight? Omni Huskar?
Omni Huskar. Yeah, I think Huskar Lycan would be a little bit too much
10
raw
seconds
damage and not enough
remaining.
control. Lycan really loves heroes that can set up kills for him.
5
Secret's been picking
seconds
some
remaining.
Necrophos as well, right? They really like to have these active carry heroes.
Necrophos is great versus Lycan.
Yeah.
Big fan. You can make yourself ethereal, be immune to Fizzler. Nobody can right-click you.
The get out of jail free card, and of course, in the ethereal form, you get the massive bonus heal.
Yes.
The first time that I saw that happen, I thought someone was legitimately cheating.
We haven't
He just
seen
like went into
crazy.
ethereal form and popped a wand. It was at full health. It was like, oh!
It's a little bit out of control, I think, but that's why he's getting picked. He's good right now.
Any potential to see Brood in this best of one?
Up against Batrider and Witch Doctor, potentially. We've seen Liquid run it up against Batrider, not afraid of it at all.
It could work if Secret show their mid hero, so they actually force them to put Bat mid and being in a bad position in that way.
Execration has the last pick in this best of one, which I think is pretty nice to have.
In terms of the advantages, what are the big advantages you get of not being the last picking team? Because obviously, if you last pick,
Team
the entire line
Secrets
at the
turn
end
to
of the game
You get first pick.
You get first, yeah, exactly. You get first pick, but if you're going to use it on a Witch Doctor, I don't really know how much value that is. You know, we see Shaker still ignored, Wisp ignored, Puck Lich, Void, Nyx all banned. Those are pretty common. Void being the exception.
10
Clockwork's
seconds
been an
remaining.
interesting hero. It's been picked a pretty reasonable amount of
5
time,
seconds
but
remaining.
really hasn't had the best win rate. 20%. Clockwork.
Execration's turn to pick.
I don't know.
Team
Why is it
Secrets
interesting? He's just a
turn to
loser.
pick.
Losers fascinate me, Peter.
Execration are going for a very safe draft here with Clock and Shadowfiend to make sure that Shadowfiend gets his souls early on.
Oh yeah, the Clockwork SF.
Yeah.
That's classic. You can
That's perfect for a best of one.
set the cogs up in the
10
fountain.
seconds
You right-click
remaining.
once, or you have a teammate right-click once because Clock will one-shot him, and then Shadowfiend finishes him off.
5
you build up some
seconds
souls to start
remaining.
the game, get that mid lane advantage.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
very
pretty dirty.
That's awesome.
But play to win, especially this best of one for, I don't know, how much money are we dealing with here? A couple $100,000 on the line?
Yeah.
Just a couple hundred G's, no big deal.
I mean, at this point, I'm always interested to see when there's a best of one situation.
Execration's turn to ban.
What
Templar
the
Assassin.
attitude is, because I feel like you can distill down a fundamental attitude, whether it's play it safe, we gotta be stable, we gotta be sturdy, or
Team Secret's
they won't expect it
turn
this
to
time.
ban.
We can throw them off. We do something insane. Templar Assassin making the first appearance of the day.
Saving their final support hero, right? Unless that's a Clockwork support, and then they're...
I think they like really wanted to get the TA against this SF because TA is one of the heroes that can actually deal with the damage that SF
10
has early on.
seconds remaining.
And they might have been scared that that Execration would ban it.
5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
Shadow Fiend deals huge bursts of damage, but Templar Assassin, of course, with her refraction, absorbs all those huge chunks, no problem.
TA infamous for doing single target damage, oftentimes struggle up against summons and
Team
illusions. Has a
Secret's
difficult time
turn
dealing
to
AoE
pick.
damage. Could be a potential last pick from Execration. I think that it's very possible that they pick another core here and put Clockwork and Sand King on support to kind of have that surprise, almost best of one cheese element to their draft.
Team Secret really looks like they
10
just need
seconds
someone
remaining.
with great damage. Do you think that it would be possible to choose
5
a
seconds
core that
remaining.
needs a little less babysitting to allow Rubik and Witch Doctor to go about the map, or do you think they really want to leverage how nice Witch Doctor can be in lane?
I think having someone that can do well against Clockwork and Sand King in the lane is fine, but I would really worry that these are not the core heroes that Execration is. That fifth hero is probably going to be a core.
You can always just go something safe, like Lifestealer, I think is pretty safe. You have Bat Rider on your team.
Lifestealer could be good.
Not really bad versus anything.
Pretty good for Shadow Fiend.
What are some other possible options for Team good and bad?
I think the Necrophos is something that they, like, as I said before, is something that they picked, but I think they lack a bit of damage to be able to bear some. I mean, they could lasso into the Necrophos ultimate, but that means that the TA has to jump in and
How do you guys
hit there as well.
how do you feel about anti-man?
So. I think MP just plays the weird heroes though all the time. It's like
Yeah.
PL, PA, Necrophos, Huskar.
Execration's
bad
turn
against
to
Lycan, right?
pick.
Phantom Lancer one time? Yes!
Oh, that's your hero.
Yeah, dude, Phantom Lancer and Bane, I absolutely adore, and Phantom Lancer is really nice for being able to participate.
Shadow Fiend
earlier in the
Shadow Fiend's pretty alright against PL.
Yeah, he is. But the thing is, they've been picking it all the time. I'm
10
very unsurprised to
seconds
see them pick it up
remaining.
because they did pick it up first base. Spence already banned out by Execration themselves.
5
struggles a
seconds
lot versus
remaining.
PL.
Yeah, Timber would be decent, I suppose.
Timbersaw could be. I like Timber. Lots of armor.
I think he's one of the best ones versus.
Yeah, and even though PL does get that defusal eventually, which can present problems for Timbersaw, Timbersaw can just kill all those immediately. I do like Timbersaw a lot. See if they go for it, but they could also still just pick like some ranged 5-position support.
Yep.
See, I always like Crystal Maiden, but it's God. Crystal Maiden
Man, I
versus PL.
can't stand Crystal Maiden. Now that the jungle camps don't give you enough experience.
She's so slow. She got nerfed like so many times.
Yeah,
Her
she's
movement speed,
pretty
it's
bad.
just insane.
I always like playing Steam against PL though.
Yeah.
'Cause you can just ult and PL actually can't do anything to you. It's great.
So what would you describe as the quality of the last pick that Execration?
They need more AoE.
Choose your hero.
Silencer.
Silencer.
Okay. So that is going to be support silencer, I would imagine.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, at this point in time, the lineups have been locked. And as we've said before, it is an elimination match. Whoever loses is eliminated from TI as the very first team to go. Let's take it away with the casters.
The underdog story is always a beautiful thing. It is even better when it's elimination games at TI. Execration versus Team Secret. Team Secret are actually no strangers recently to that underdog position, but now they're coming in as the favorites. Do you think they have what it takes?
I'm not sure who really is the underdog in this matchup. I think it's very hard to say. Like this group stage has shown already
10
that the
seconds
scores aren't really
remaining.
necessarily representative of who you should consider the favorites, or maybe every
5
underdog is just winning
seconds
right
remaining.
now. Yeah. But you know, I think it's fair enough to say on paper Secret should be the favorites. But Execration showed pretty good form in the groups. Sure, they went to the lower bracket, which half the teams will, or actually a little less than half, but a couple got knocked out.
We cut the extra fat off.
But I think Execration have what it takes. I think they have a draft they're very comfortable with. The panel were discussing like what does this last pick need to be. They went for something completely different. So it seems like they're very comfortable with the silencer being played by RR in this game. Secret, on the other hand, have comfort picks. I just feel like their team fight in this lineup looks really lackluster. I'm a bit worried for them going into that.
Well, the panel were kind of touching on it, right? They're looking at individual pickups. Like I was sitting here wondering if we're going to get the Yapsor Rubik. I was then gratified with the Yapsor pickup. But then you got the Templar Assassin in mid. Very, very single target focused. And the way they're thinking about it, the team fights will just never happen. If they play the fun, fast-paced game against Execration, is that the approach that maybe they're looking for in their draft?
Prepare for battle.
It's possible that they try to do that. We're going to have to see. I think Execration's lineup definitely has what it takes to fight back. You look at their lineup, they have many of these pretty fast-paced heroes themselves. A hero like Clockwork, Sand King. Shadow Fiend with Cogs, as mentioned by the panel, also comes online very quickly. And then you have your carry is a hero like Lycan, who is basically not necessarily all about fighting, but he's pretty good at contributing. You have Howl, you have the ultimate to make it really fast and run in and kill the heroes. And something that they also were mentioning, you know, when you're playing against TA, this refraction is something you really need to look out for. Execration had a game in the group stage where they did exactly this. They ran Lycan safe lane with Necrobook, and it destroyed, I think it was the TA of Cloud9 in that game, I believe. Had a really hard time. Vata was constantly just losing his refraction charges to the Necrobook, which in addition also gives True Sight. It's like an amazing hero counter. He has 4 summons and bye-bye refraction, you know? So I personally like Execration's draft here, but I think Team Secret have some players that could step up big time in a game like this.
I agree. There's a lot of talent in the lineup of Team Secret, and maybe that is what they're going to rely on, but it's a good story for everyone who is viewing. If Execration can find themselves a solid draft they feel comfortable with, that isn't just a straight, oh, Bloodseeker, no one can hit, Broodmother, no one can counter kind of approach to the draft. It makes things very fun and interesting, and it looks like Team Secret, they may want to try and open up the account. James, he was coming up for the rune, a pick up by Team Secret, and James wants to get back through the trees. Maybe he's got the distance with a Burrow Strike out from Lemek. They're going to get a little bit more space. Body blocking up Yapsor. He doesn't want to give him the vision or the first blood. James still alive. The boots are giving him the speed to escape the Team Secret gank.
Oh, I think Secret actually wanted to give that kill to the PL. I think both of their ranged heroes had the ability to get in an additional hit, but a lot of the times you want to give this carry that head start. This time it comes back to bite them. I believe that was indeed a kill if they just did it for it. Yep, they dodge a bullet there. That's the kind of thing you have in elimination matches like this. They're the most terrifying and the most exciting games at the same time, and under pressure, mistakes like that can definitely happen.
Yeah, this is the upside sort of for Team Secret. Okay, middle lane, Burrow Strike onto mid one. They know he has no refraction charges, so Yapsor picks him up in range of the tower, and the body block from mid one. Lemon can't get out, he's blocked in by the creep wave. Mid one will spill first blood. And Raging Potato, with even that plus 16 souls, he's still forced away.
It was a great play by Yapsor, identifying that play was possible. He could actually lock him in there. Now that the creep wave in the mid has that extra creep since patch 7.0, I believe, but that earlier was 7.04, I think, added that extra creep in mid. It makes plays like those more likely to succeed just because there's more stuff in the way. And yep, they pull that off, so nice first blood for Team Secret. Going the way of mid one, I think that's the player they wanted to go to more than anyone in this kind of matchup. Should secure him. Is that his bottle already coming out? It is indeed. Yeah, very, very necessary in this matchup that does favor Shadow Fiend quite a bit when you have the soul advantage in the beginning usually.
Yeah, especially when Lemek was also looking for the kill. You could see them prepping with their attacks previously. Raging Potato was beating into mid one. They knew his cooldown timing of refraction, and they tried to capitalize on that. But yep, as he said, Team Secret, Yapsor, in the right place and right time. We were kind of expecting that from his Rubik. Without it, he doesn't get his levels, and that's something else to look at for the supports. The fact that Rubik has already managed to get 2 and, well, third levels so far, trying to contest the runes, which will end up spawning on bottom, a double damage rune for RR.
You know, we got to keep an eye out for stacks in this game as well. Whenever you have Templar Assassin and Bat Rider in the same team, they want to farm different stacks. Bat Rider wants to farm the non-ancient camps most of the time, and Templar Assassin wants to farm the ancient. So in that sense, Secret's lineup is nicely well-rounded in that they want different camps in the jungle, access to those. And then you look over at Execration, they also want stacks for their Shadow Fiend if possible, but generally not the Ancients. They're not really the way to go.
Go for the easier camps. Kezu at least has that observer ward on bottom lane watching the small stack near him. So using it for pulls until he goes for something else. MP, there's no mana on the top lane apart from enough to doppelganger away from James. Hubby is in the neighborhood with the Paralyzing Cask, and this is a battery assaulting Clockwork that has committed in with a creep wave. The Paralyzing Cask will bounce again, the TP out will be successful, and the regeneration of the base will repair the damage. and will be done by the last tick of Maledict.
He's keeping on their toes here in the top lane, but this should not be a lane that Clockwork can ever get a solo kill in. He's pretty good against the Witch Doctor, but if he goes on the Witch Doctor, the PL can just jump in with Doppelganger and spawn additional targets for the Battery Assault. You can't really find a kill. Can also throw out spawns an illusion. This is an okay lane for Clockwork. It's not fantastic, but he's getting some levels. That's what you generally want to do on that off lane as that type of hero. The last hits are secondary to the levels on Clock, and he's already level 3. Batrider, however, is level 4 actually, the secret down bottom. Kezo's having a great time. And that's worrying. We've seen Kezo on Batrider in this tournament having some outstanding games. Probably his best hero of the tournament, actually.
That's that secondary objective of the Observer Lord. The ping's coming out right now from the SK saying, I'm fairly certain he knows that he can see us. And that's problematic because it means the rotations, like Rubik was already getting a little bit of early information, having a little battle with RR as they ran around through the Radiant jungle, top lane, troublesome, Puppy actually locked in with the Clockwork. The Battery Assault damage will be enough for James to get the kill. There was not much more MP could do about it. And James will even take both of the bounty runes to boot.
He actually managed. I think the Phantom Lancer looks like he was just out of mana at that point. Then that's when you can try to commit for that kind of play. If Phantom Lancer can't counterplay, this is a really difficult matchup for Witch Doctor. But he kind of relies on his carry to be able to help out, and Puppy was a bit out of position, got caught. Nice little play by James, immediately heading up to top again here.
Yapsor, that's very aggressive, coming into the trees. Lemmi's just going to go for the straight up Burrow Strike, and then the follow-up damage with Raisin 2 hits from Raging Potato, and that was a gift from Team Secret in the mid lane.
And they got to be careful at nighttime. Howl is really powerful right now. Even though it's only level 2, this additional damage and health on all of their lanes make plays very difficult for Team Secret to carry out. So might need to take it a little bit easy. At the very least for them, they're still getting good stacks off. Yapsor's managed to double stack. Or is that a triple? He's definitely double. Yeah, it's a triple stack on the right camp. And now they're tripling the top camp as well with Puppy. So 2 times triple stack Ancients ready for mid 1. Generally want to be like level 7 before you start farming those, I believe, depending on the composition of creeps. So now he's going to head in and do some regular camps, maybe leaving a little bit of mid experience to someone else. Yeah, so never pushes back.
You do have 2 supports, so you're going to be itching for it. Both the Witch Doctor as well as the Rubik benefit from having 1, they're level 6, but 2 just level increase on those supports. Rubik for the burst damage, Puppy for the more control that he's able to offer as a Witch Doctor. Especially when he's sacrificing himself so much. We talk about Puppy being the hard 6 position in a team with Team with Secret, just with Yapsor. He's the guy that takes everything else.
Yeah, I like that you point this out because when it comes to this support duo, it's actually a pretty strange pairing. This is kind of a thing of the past, running 2 ranged supports like this. Most of the time your position 4 is more of a melee hero that is tankier, can go for these aggressive plays, similar to like what the Sand King is looming. We've seen a lot of Nix's
MP, really? James under the tower, Puppy gets on the paralyzing cast go, and cuts upon 3, even body blocks him out, making it impossible for James to go through the trees. Another TP under safety, does he have the life? He'll go back to base and barely surviving.
Clutch. That was really close.
Oh boy.
He's kind of pressing his luck here a bit, but forcing MP back to base at the same time he forces himself back is a pretty okay trade-off for the Clockwork. Maybe slightly Secret favored because of course the Witch Doctor can go and take some HP in the lane, but that wasn't the worst thing in the world for James.
Team Secret also get a little bit more of an advantage looking towards that mid lane. Raging Potato disappeared into the jungle at the same time as mid 1 did, but mid 1 came back earlier. He came back with the catapult wave, which is still alive, beating into that mid tower, dropping it down to 286. So Raging Potato got a little bit of farm, but as you said, mid 1 is level 7. He now has that and can look towards the Ancients. And Yapsor, this is where he also leeches so hard. You push the Rubik closer towards that level 6, closer towards that the big burst damage where his rotations become more powerful.
This time you're not getting out of it. That is not happening.
His TP's on cooldown, he's got 4 more charges to create the space for the clock. Never. Okay, no, there's your Lancer, James. Maybe Lemmic, get rid of the illusions of Fate Bolt from Yapsor.
That comes
securing the kill.
The signature Fate Bolt, that's unnecessary, but just needs that gold on the Rubik, you know?
That was necessary. I said it's a level of salt.
100% dead from that last tick of Maledict.
Okay,
so
I should
you're
just point out
no one here.
For the former Yapsor teammate Syndra sitting next to me, he's going to possess more salt than PPD during this game.
That's hard to do. I can actually give you a little bit more of a background to this game. Speaking of past history with players, mid 1 TA knocked me out last year in a best of 1 elimination game. That's what Fnatic actually turned to in that game as well. So it's a very, I think if you look at mid 1 and you're like, okay, we're playing a best of 1 elimination game, we want to give him his best, most comfortable hero in high pressure situations. This is the one. This is basically a repeat of last year with Fnatic. when Mid One was playing that. So
And we really have seen like games with Templar Assassins. You can sit like a couple of thousand net worth in front and is able to carry a team. Like, all you need to do is have just that little bit of momentum, and they've got it so far.
it's also just the pacing of the best one elimination games. Like teams are generally likely to play a little more cautiously and slower. And then a hero like TA that can abuse stacks can be a very powerful tool to have in your arsenal. You see, the Execration side has barely even contested these stacks right now. They've mainly been playing their own side of the map. The Clockwork has been putting some pressure top, but apart from that, we've barely even seen their heroes cross the river. So if that's how you're going to play, TA is a pretty damn amazing pick for this kind of stuff. And
Yep.
just need to wait to see when Mid One wants to farm these stacks. They would take him up to level 10.5, I think, and about
Kezu.
80-90 CS.
Oh, if he had Firefly, he really would have gone for that. Had Lasso off cooldown and 3 sticky napalm stacks on the Lycan. That was probably the best opportunity, even though he kept walking under the tower. So maybe not the greatest positioning. So Yapsil's taking up the middle. Looks like they're also going to give Lemic that kind of space to farm up there while TA's gone jungle. Kezu on the run, but he'll be okay. So this is that flash farm period we're talking about. We'll look towards the SF for his timing. Shadowblade Builder is his item of choice. Okay, level 6, short shot, up she flies, finding Kezu, Batrider, fantastic, getting out of the cogs. If he had the Firefly, but it just times out. Is there restoration? No, there isn't. Kezu just needs the live stick charges, won't be enough. And Ara can add his first +2 for the game with the intelligence stolen.
That was perfect timing on that hook shot. Very nicely done by James. Just before the Firefly expires, sees that very little moment of opportunity. We're talking half a second here. Gets that jump, they get that nice kill. The gold goes to RR, who's generally, when I think he's played Silencer for Execration in a couple of games, and he has a tendency of being very starved. He plays very hard support. This hero actually benefits a lot from getting just one item as in the support role. Generally a mobility item like Force Staff or Glimmer Cape for saving or something like that. Contributes quite a lot for this hero in particular, I would say.
It's kind of the sad thing for him. He's played Silencer in one game and it was up against the team where he just crushed here on the stage. So
He had a hard time.
yeah, he had a very hard time. Yapsol has a big smoke move, a commitment here from Team Secret. You have the drums over on Kezu, so you have the movement speed that can come from the Batrider. Whereas the advantage if he can be successful at this fight, potentially picking off Raging Potato. He's just trying to finish up the Ancient Black Dragon, which
Radiant's
may just be
middle
stolen
tower
by
is under
Kezu.
attack.
While Mid One will finish the Tier 1 tower in mid.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Decent money now being injected into the Team Secret bank account.
Is that a Lycan ult?
It is a Lycan ulti.
Okay. So Secret, the biggest discrepancy right now is when you look at the CS across the board, it looks pretty even, right? Like Tia has 92, Shadowfiend has about 90, PL and Lycan are even as well, but the big discrepancy is Batrider to Clockwork, and that's just how these heroes work, in essence. Like, Batrider will outfarm Clockwork quite a lot if they're both given a good game, and that's the net worth advantage. Now the question is, how much can this Clockwork set up for his team with this low net worth compared to that Batrider? As you said, already has Drum, closing in on a Blink Dagger. We're probably going to see that for Kezu around the 15-minute mark of this raid.
Well, that's the advantage of the Clockwork. The fact he already has initiation, but Kezu still has the Firefly up and running. So getting out of the cogs is easy enough. Giving it to Yapsor, easy when you trigger Battery Assault after. So not the ability Yapsor was searching for.
It gives them some decent kill potential with Lasso, actually. If they lasso someone into Battery Assault, if they want to look for that.
You still need the Blink though. He's at 600 and requires a lot more, that 2250. But they may try and go for it anyway. Keep the Batrider down, keep him away from that Blink Dagger. A 3-man smoke up as they wrap around the Roche Pit. Where do they want to go? The line is drawn to actually go back up and into the dire jungle towards the Ancients. And who are they going to find? It's going to be Kezu, but Kezu, well, it's the other way around. He actually finds them.
They're having a hard time dealing with this Batrider, I would say. He's only got one death at 70 CS and just... They didn't manage to kill him top, now he's going to break their farming. And TA is completely uncontested. I think that's the biggest concern for Execration is that Mid One is just farming.
TA is going to kill bottom lane. They're initiating it. MP made a way through the trees on the east. Nando doesn't have the life with the 6 charges and so many PLs fighting against him. Mid One just has the damage. And a very hard way to fight that. Like, Puppy revealed himself to mid only a second before that. They didn't know where...
Oh, those side blades!
Oh, Lemic! Back to the trees, out of range, survive. Let the Tranquil Boots kick in.
And I was getting some the Rocket Ferrari flashbacks right there. Remember that rude kill?
Oh, wow, that's a long time ago.
It's a pretty long time ago. That's very, very memorable. Though. Yeah, he hit 3 sideways in a row and an invisible target there. Very nice from mid one, but not enough. Even though he had the Desto already, I think he picked this up at sub 12 minutes, which is very quick. They just keep stacking. All right, now he's just gonna walk into the camp himself, block that off.
Yeah. But Nando's trying to make the best of the opportunity. We talked about the fact like TA is getting a lot of fun, but we also talked about the fact that Lycan is the counter. You can check the item build of Nando. He's finished his treads and he just picked up his level 1 Necrobook.
And even level 1 Necrobook is very good.
Yep. They're going to need it right now.
Shadow Fiend has Shadowblade as well.
The fight's preparing on bottom lane. You've got Kezu ready to come around the back. You've got mid one ready to push in as well, straight through the middle. Observer and Sentry is down for Team Secret. They will be aware in this fight. The hook shot. Gonna miss the target, and without that now, Kezu feels so confident. Jumps in, gets the silence around. So no global silence available for the fight. Paralyzing cast, making it difficult for Raging Potato to move back out. The Forest Strike again, holding him in position. Left Puppy stands towards go. James will fall. Execration lose 4. The Lycan, the man who wasn't there, the sole survivor, claiming the tier 1 tower on top as the only consolation prize for Execration.
Might be seeing some of those main stage jitters from some of the less experienced players. They seem very hesitant, and that attempt from Clockwork to jump, I think he was trying to hookshot the PL under his tower, maybe into a global play. It's a very difficult play, very high risk, low reward kind of play in that tower. Try to get, and Secret were just in position and counterplayed very nicely here. We're going to see it now. I actually think that the hook is already on cooldown now. Raging Potato goes in, doesn't manage to kill at all. This fight is... The moment Silencer gets grabbed, it's very difficult for Execration to counterplay this move of Secret. Their burst damage is just way too high, and they can't prevent those players from getting stuck.
Yep. And it seems so hard for them to move around the fight. Like the Paralyzing Cask is doing so much work too. Then you've got the other AoE stun, which can come in from the Rubik. The Batrider control, as you can see, they know they caught this fight in the bag. The second you get that early pickoff, Team Secret will not be hindered at all. So instead, Execration try and make something out of something else, and that is James moving in towards the mid, looking for that angle with the haste room, but he ran over the top of Templar Assassin's trap. So Secret were ready for it. They already have the counter hero. Rubik versus Clockwork is one of the easiest ways to save you from cogs by throwing the Rubik outside of his own cogs.
Now the question is what Execration's lineup can do to really set up a fight that can bring them into a good position again. Secret are getting a lot more out of the map right now after taking that fight. They've taken 2 towers to the 1 of Execration. Doesn't sound like too much, but getting the mid tower down is pretty significant.
They're going to try and fight again?
Yep. They should be looking for something like this. They have the tools, right?
Well, are they actually going to Roshan? It's difficult with Templar Assassin on the field.
They're looking to try something new. There's the shapeshift.
Yeah, gonna run in. There's Sentry Wars down. The hook shot. Mid one just walked ahead. Can look himself away to safety. The global silence is out. They need this fight to work. The Burrow Strike holding mid one in position. Templar Assassin will fall. And Nando going full dogway forward. But now paralyzing cast from Poppy. Holding James as well as Nando together. They have to get outside the cogs. Yapsor can't get the Soul and Epicenter in range of Execration. But James, he'll walk himself in range of Team Secret. So they can just send the PL illusions in and James will fall. It was a big kill, however. They did bring down Templar Assassin with the move.
Yeah, considering that they missed the hook shot there, that's a pretty okay outcome, I think, for Execration. Even the hook shot itself is pretty difficult to do on the TA, who does have Refraction up and the Blink Dagger, so you need to do enough instances of damage to prevent her from blinking out. I think the thing that Execration are missing right now, apart from slightly better spell usage, is the Blink Dagger tanking. That's going to make things a lot easier. And we have Lumic farming at bottom, 600 away. Should be able to set up for a nice epicenter, since it's really nice to play Sand King when you're not the only initiation in the team. When someone else can set you up so you can get epi instead of being forced to a lot of the times choose between that fast Burrow Strike or the epi, he can now count on his allies and set it up knowing he has global in the back as well. It's a very nice lineup to play Sand King in. So I think they should definitely be looking to enable him here with a blink.
Execration have a choice now. They've scouted out mid one doing Templar Assassin. Team Secret, 4-man smoke over. They've got an Observe Ward on the hill. So is the Sentry Ward. They dust down. They'll see Raging Potato lassoed up. Someone needs to create a little bit of space before they lose the SF. James has gone in, but now he's isolated in the middle of 5 heroes of Team Secret. Trying to run out. The Clogs at least split the fight up a little bit more. No buyback from the SF. Nando just wants to TP himself out. Keep this Lycan alive. They'll be successful with that. RR will not be so lucky as attention moves towards the SK. Diffuser Blade, it was freshly purchased just before this fight, and it is nipping the heels of Execration out. So no more running away, and no more ways to contest Roshan from Team Secret.
Dire's middle tower
they should be putting this Aegis on the TA. It's a good item on the Phantom Lancer as well. It gets a lot out of the second life, but mid one is just extremely far ahead right now. They play very aggressively with this. He's also their primary structure pusher here. He can take down a couple of towers maybe with this Aegis 18 minutes in. Maybe they can get the remaining tier 1, maybe the tier 2 bottom. It's fairly easy to siege. The other tier 2s are a bit more tricky, but they should be feeling like they're in a good position with a good advantage here. We see the replay again. Yeah, last one saw on the Shadow Fiend puts in a really bad spot.
And you can see exactly what they wanted to do. Like, there was the Observer Ward also on top of the hill. That's what set up a lot of that fight. They saw the SF coming from a mile away, and the fresh Blink Dagger, another item which was purchased just before that fight, caught Execration off guard.
Yeah. Could have maybe been a different story if they had global sounds ready, but the bad rider in this game is doing a lot of work. Kezu's finding the right picks. He's been involved in 9 out of 12 kills on his bat.
Probably the reason why at the end of every single Team Secret fight we're having a camera close up on Kezu just going, yeah. Good fight. Good fight. So, Execration, they still have some things working their way. Even though the gold is moving 6,000 in the way of Team Secret, the experience about 8,500, you still have that power that comes from the SF as well as the Lycan. Lycan, we've seen a little bit of his power throughout the fight, but not a hell of a lot. Most of it was just Necrobook focusing on the Templar Assassin. But so far, SF really hasn't had a huge influence. Apart from the initial pickoff when they were able to get the Clockwork grab, like, that was good. But the Shadowblade hasn't really paid off. He's still working his way towards his BKB, and maybe then he'll have a chance if he doesn't get caught by the Backlighter.
It definitely still feels like the type of game Execration is back in. It's a fairly big lead, but it's not insurmountable at all. And their lineup, I think fares pretty well in the core and core matchups later on. The Shadow Fiend is okay against PL, as he pointed out. We talked about the Lightning and TA.
Forcing a fight.
They just need to get their key items without losing out too much and organizing the fights a bit better. Now that the Blink Daggers up on Sand King and Secret don't know it, this could give them that one big fight. If Execration just get one good team fight where they trade maybe 5 for 2, 5 for 3, the game is going to almost even out because they should be able to take another tower or 2 after that fight. I see the mid tower being low already here for Team Secret.
You're talking about the Blink Dagger over on the Sand King. We have a just shy of 20-minute Rubik Blink Dagger coming out on the courier to Yapsor. So your blink ability across the field now, both Kezu, Mid 1, and Yapsor all have Blink Daggers. Team Secret's positioning is to be very difficult for Execration to counter. Not to mention Clockwork isolating a target.
Not the easiest ask right now. And the thing about this Rubik Blink Dagger that's so crucial is that if Yapsar is fast, which he has a tendency to be on this hero, he can Blink Steal Barrow Strike, which is an incredible skill for Rubik in general. Has to play around Global Sound, one of the better counters to Rubik, but it is definitely possible.
Team Secret are coming down the mid lane. They've still got the Aegis the Immortal for a little bit more time. Another 2 minutes before it will get reclaimed.
Puppy's signature buckler. He's the only player who does this, I think. Always gets a buckler.
It's funny to know what hero they're on too, they do it.
The funny thing to me about this is that that's one of the things they talked about in the panel, right? Like, you have this type of player who's very stubborn and likes the stuff that he likes and just wants to do it. And Puppy has been buying bucklers for years. And nobody else really likes buckler, but Puppy's like, this is the item. Then I asked him how long we asked him how long it lasts on Creeps and Heroes, and he didn't know. So that was interesting.
Critical details to justify your...
He thought it lasted the same duration on Creeps and Heroes. I mean, why wouldn't it, right? Why wouldn't it actually? But
do you know Syndrome?
I know. Slacks and I sat down and made us some really difficult questions. So. That one's pretty hard.
Well, Team Secret, you've still got the Aegis the Immortal for another minute and then 10-ish seconds. Going high ground is probably not the easiest thing they want to do. We are only 22 minutes into the game. You do not want to give Execration the ability to fight from a point of power. Especially now that Rage Potato has that BKB, he would like the fight. But Team Secret also understand they're very powerful, so the only other objectives outside the base at the moment are the Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower up at the top lane. Is that just a simple thing that Team Secret could just move towards and take, or should they be forcing something else?
It's the easiest objective on the map now, for sure. But it might still be too high risk to do at this point. How long is left on that Aegis? Half a minute. They're not going to get up there in time. They do have the BKB to play around with on mid one, which is definitely a very good item in this game. They're probably also pretty content to farm. As long as they are sitting in the position they are right now, they're owning definitely the majority of the farm on the map right now. You see them posing very aggressively in the Radiant jungle. The Radiant has swapped up to top, but it still feels like Secret have a bit more map control by the tower advantage that they
Oh,
have.
this could work very well for the mid one. He doesn't know what he's running into, or then again, they don't know what they're running into. Mid one's got the invis rune. He goes straight on top of the clockwork, but nobody knows. The Shadow Blade's going to break in just a second, and then mid one will know exactly what he's up against. Regeneration from the Aegis, and remains an invis. Breaks the party up of Execration and goes back to farming. Meanwhile, mid lane, they do find a target. It's going to be RR. Yapsor able to actually not take the kill for once. It's Kezu.
Proud of you, yes. Good job.
Team player.
Yeah.
Got to get that that new item on the Bat Rider, who's already got Drums, Blink, Force, and Full Magic Wand.
Secret are holding nice grip on the map though. This is a 10k lead now. Execration still haven't really been able to find that team fight that they're looking for. The couple of smokes they had toward mid were very easily read by Secret. It feels like forever since they got their last kill. They will be trying to push a bit up top, it looks like, having some information about where Secret's heroes are, but they don't feel confident to just go and attack this with their SF.
It's like they're trying to bait it in, so you show the SF up here, but it's the two heroes who have distance closing. It's the Blink Dagger on the SK, as the hook shot from the Clockwork. They want to have a fight, whereas just one hero coming back from Team Secret to defend the top lane push, but Team Secret is refusing to oblige.
Yeah, Secret are just staying down here. They found a new home. Basically, the Dire has migrated onto the Radiant side of the map. Now, nobody likes Dire anymore.
Dire's top
Nobody in that
tower
jungle.
is under attack.
But this is what Secret want. This is the ideal situation. This is, again, this is even better for them than if Execration's heroes were respond. Now they're just controlling it even harder. Execration's heroes are hiding in base. They do have a smoke on the Sand King that they could try to commit here and look for some sort of play. The last 10 minutes have been all Secret, I feel. There hasn't been too much initiative from Execration then.
Well, they're trying to find a hole in Team Secret's defense, but so far, none has really presented itself too strongly. Rockets continue to fly out from the Clockwork, trying to get vision.
Got some info there.
Yep.
CPL farming their camp, that could be useful.
Question is, though, where can they still initiate? Which hero do you initiate into? There's so much counter because Team Secret are so close to each other, holding each other's hands.
Radiant
The vision
are
where Team
scanning.
Secret are farming at the moment is non-existent for Execration. The Radiant scan forward, they don't find anything. Waiting for that Dire scan. It is actually off cooldown for the moment. And now, Lemic, well, Fire Strike gonna catch out too. Global Sans as well, trying to counter the attack. TA, however, got a BKB off. She might be fine for the moment. The epicenter damage is nice, but then the Clockwork Cog! It traps all of Execration on the same position! They cannot get away! Too much damage, and the stolen epicenter from Yapsor! Lacquered on top! And Execration will lose 3, potentially 4. Lemic is doing his TP at the moment, and he will get out in time.
Oh, those were not the cogs, man. That feels bad when that happens. He had the right intentions, but the Force Staff from Kezu, I believe it was, just got him out of position, into a better position, and the TA didn't get trapped inside either. Secret just get another convincing win. That was 3-0. Another 4k advantage built from that fight.
This is more than problematic. This is Team Secret looking to push. And the ping is coming. Like, is it going to be for tier 1 tower or tier 3? Mid 1 is the one looking towards the mid. The rest of Secret are farming for the moment. And mid 1 just by himself can pressure the mid to look for a
Radiant's
reaction
top
from
tower is
Execration.
under attack.
And that's exactly what he does, and then just bounces away. So let's have a look at that fight again. So the Burrow Strike comes in. He gets a nice double start at the beginning, even the epicenter. But the second the silence wears off, Epi gets stolen. And that Clockwork Cogs was basically the funeral parade
Radiant's top
of Cogs
tower
for
is under
Execration.
attack.
Basically set up 3 side blade attacks in a row,
Radiant's
I
top
think.
tower has fallen.
The quick Force Staff from Kezu there is very important as well. And this is a problem. When Sand
Radiant's
King
top
jumps like that
tower
and
is
Clockwork
under
follows
attack.
through, the other heroes need time to connect. The Lycan needs to use his shapeshift and start running toward it. Shadowfiend has to run all the way in. So the way Execration's heroes were positioned, they actually couldn't use the tanking stun. Oh, sounds speaking of position.
Nice lasso, able to grab that silence of the stolen Burrow Strike. In there
Radiant's
for
top
Yamso,
tower
you
is
talk about
under
how quick he
attack.
has to be to grab it. Lemic, he attempted to sandstorm as well,
Radiant's
but
top tower has fallen.
silencer down, all the towers on the top lane being removed. But 27 minutes into the game, and now Team Secret, they want to go up. And they're able to do so. The Burrow Strike is more posturing than anything else. It does no damage whatsoever, and they know there's no follow-up.
Radiant's
With no
top
silencer,
tower
with no
is
global
under
silence, they
attack.
cannot win the fight. Maybe if Raging Potato can get that
Radiant
blind,
structures
like
are fortified.
Requiem of Souls, you can see him wanting to attempt it on MP. And Puppy maybe feels the pressure. Sentry wards are going down everywhere.
Missed hook shot again.
Incoming!
They need to connect their spells with their heroes in the right position, else it's all or not. Doesn't matter. Here we go. Better position this time.
Yeah, maybe they can get it, but you couldn't get the follow-up from Lemic. Unable to get himself far enough away. They're trying to get the distance. The BKB out from Rage Potato. At least he won't be affected by the paralyzing cast, but Lycan continuously stunned up. Now the global silence is out. Nando, he has to do work here. He has to find the kill. Mid one's the primary target. The secondary burrow is there from Lemic, but mid one, he will finally die. Puppy will join him with a glorious death forward to, well, signify his own demise. They want more. Nando, MP, now the Lycan form is worn off. MP can come into this fight. The burrow strike forward. Yapsor still not dead yet. He's able to actually stay alive through so much of this. Almost killing up Lemic on the hill. Lemic will get the kill, but maybe, still not enough. Raging Potato, Requiem of Souls up against MP. He can just dodge too easy, and Kezu and MP will stand over the corpse of Execration. It cost him 3 teammates, but the fight goes the way of Team Secret.
That was a much better organized team fight from Execration, but they're really hard.
Courier, no!
Wait, did Kesu just kill the Courier?
Yeah, the Courier was making a break for the secret shot.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was going up there at the time.
But this is the way Execration can take these fights. It was close to being good enough, but Secret's big advantage there still allows them to come out on top. Even losing the TA like that is still playable just because of how much network they have across the board on all their heroes. Every one of their lineups actually pretty fun. The Witch Doctor.
Hook shot. James gonna hit this one. MP. Oh, he turns on the Blade Mel. MP's not gonna fight him with the Battery Assault. Now he gets free. It's the doppelganger. James can't stay close. The Diffuser Blade stopped him. The rocket will fly forward. It does the damage, but MP on 33 HP will survive. As Manta available as well. Lemic's trying to close the distance. The Wolves are scouting, and now finally they find MP. Tries to break out with the Manta, but it will not work. And RR, the man who sent that Courier up to start with, he finally has his Solar Crest he went up to buy.
That's a pretty big chunk of gold.
It is.
Oh, MP doesn't buy back. They could actually just get the Roche off this.
If they only knew. There's still Templar Assassin traps around, and that TA is also still a beast. That's a full butterfly. Blink, BKB Desolator on mid one. And a Haste Rune, which will get him in range of Lemic. So Yapsor gets his on a hill for 1 second till he 4-stars down. But that is now no SK for 43 seconds.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
And that should mean that this Aegis will eventually go to Secret. I think they're going to push in all the waves, make sure that Execration are cornered in their base, and then we can kill this Roche down very, very quickly with the combination of heroes. They have the TA, can pretty much solo this Roche. Oh, he's going to see James.
Oh, at least maybe with the Blade Mel. No, they're not even going to, they just wait until it wears off, and then mid one does the rest of the damage. Refraction protected him to start with. And the Clockwork, quick and easy pickoff. Team Secret, very methodical in this game.
They're going to just, pushing in the mid. Roche is, it looks like TA is moving toward the Roche. The mid trajectory goes there. Oh, a nice region. Oh, he doesn't want it.
He'll get it later. Oh, Yapsor. Well done, Yapsor. Well done.
Oh, Yapsor gets it. Okay.
Yeah, now we see who the real carry is.
Yeah, now he just needs to sell his bottle, and then we're back to that.
Give his bottle to a carry. Come on, it's donations for the poor. Yapsor, blank in, able to find the Sand King. He still got Fire Strike and 15 one-shot to make that 16, 17. But that's only because Team Secret are expending abilities to kill him off. So no SK, once again, picked off outside the base. Execration, it always feels like they're one man down or one primary ability down. Just to give Team Secret the opening they want.
They seem less coordinated and more chaotic in the ball.
Raging Potato, you're going to burn the refraction. Charges the blink away! Mid one, Sora coming from a mile off. Takes the range racks. Nando was tricked his dog form as well. And now they're going to go in once more. Looking for the opening. Mid one takes the top tier 3 tower. Nando is just enjoying being on speed with his wolf form, but 70 seconds before it's back off cooldown. You will have the SK up in 6 seconds, but Team Secret, they've already made a hole in your home.
Radiant's top barracks.
And Raging Potato, I don't think he understands like which hero he's got to go on.
Radiant's top barracks.
That's 1.5 lanes of Rex. They still have the melee in mid, and I think Secret are going to just wait a little bit. Again, push out this wave in the mid, get that in a good position. The bottom lane is pushing in a little bit, probably courtesy of Clockwork. At least he could do that. But it's not looking good for Execration now. We're at that stage now where, judging from what lineups are facing each other, you need some sort of a miracle here to come back. if they find that perfect combination with everything, all their cooldowns ready, where they get a good epicenter Sanking stun and global sounds on top, and they land their key spells in addition to that, they can definitely still take the fight, but there are such a big margin for error for Team Secret. They're just going to send in mid one with their medallion on.
Team Secret basically need to have 5 heroes standing all on the one spot for Execration to have enough control in the team fight where they can win it, but they can at least attempt to evenly trade or keep someone alive. The SK, at least the global silence is out, but the SF will be able to survive. Maybe mid one going down. Aegis was the only thing he'll lose, where SF will lose its life. A quick buyback. They have to find now or never, even with the low souls. You have to hold the line. Nando's leaves BKB into 5, but mid one, the damage output is roughly 400. They'll take the mid rank. They're forcing Execration back into their fountain. And Team Secret, they want to get Vegas. They'll do this the long way. No tier 4 tower push. It's safe, secure. The tier 3 tower will fall. Clockwork trying to actually jump to the front line. There is a pickup. Mid one, just focusing on the Raging Potato. They need to dive back on the SF. They'll remove his damage. They'll remove his aura. And they'll remove Execration almost from the International. Mid one just needs to finish the job. The rack is still to be done. There's Lemmic with his Burrow Strike. At least able to catch the Templar assassin, but oh my lord, RR is gone. They've lost 4, they've lost 5. And they can be brutally, savagely wrecked out of the International. Team Secret have done it. It took 34 minutes. It was convincing, it was clean. And it felt like Execration just never got in the game.
I was hoping for a bit more out of Execration in this game. I don't feel like this game really does justice some of the really nice plays we saw from them in the groups, but you know, this is a high-pressure environment. It's that one game for elimination. As we said, maybe definitely less experienced players, and especially one of their players, as they said, first event ever. It's got to be a really high amount of pressure to play under. And at the end of the day, Secret with more experience, more composure, just all out better across all stages of the game. They had better laning, better teamwork, better fighting. Got the objectives, and they move on into the next round. So they get to play best of 3s.
Yes, they do, but of course they get to play Team Liquid in the next round. That's also a rough game. After Invictus Gaming were able to knock them down earlier today, but Team Secret is definitely going to be a good confidence boost for them moving through the bottom bracket. Of course, Execration, they understood they were coming in. They were a little bit more of the underdog. A loss is a loss, but it's still fantastic experience for them. They still managed to make it out of the group stage and have won themselves a pretty penny to take home to the Philippines.
Yep. Very good experience for them for sure to move on, especially for the new guy, whoever it was. We didn't want to put a name on him.
The mystery man.
Yeah,
we'll refer to him as the guy. Or just guy. But yeah, you definitely saw the nerves approaching a little bit.
I think you did.
I think the Clockwork, like that was kind of like the sealing the deal kind of moment. When he let the cogs off, that was the moment everything started to fall apart. But if they got their initiations right, if you got the momentum, you could definitely see the draft working.
100%.
That piece of the puzzle looked very, very good.
You could see the logic of what they were trying to do. The execution just wasn't there. That's kind of the short version of the story. They got outplayed and they did not play their own best, which, you know, is a regret you can have afterwards, but either you show up or you don't on the day. Sometimes you have a bad day. That's it.
Yeah, so it's a terrific performance from Team Secret. They are the winner and will advance themselves into the lower bracket round 2.
That entire game can almost